Good afternoon, students. Today I am going to start the lesson that is Cold War. So, in Cold War, the part which has been given to you according to the current syllabus is the origins of the Cold War, end of wartime unity, that is Yalta and Potsdam conferences. These all are the main parts to be discussed now. So, let us start from the Cold War. What is the reasons of starting of the Cold War? End of wartime unity rift widened in the Yalta and Potsdam conference. Stalin's speech of February 1946 that communism and capitalism could not live peacefully. The wartime unity among the Allied powers was very soon lost. They failed to come to an agreement about the terms. They failed to come to any type of agreement about the terms of the treaty. In this situation, the wartime unity among the Allied powers was very soon lost. The wartime unity among the Allied powers was very soon lost. And they failed to come to an agreement about the terms and conditions of the treaty also to be imposed on Germany. The political conditions of Europe began to improve since February 1945 and the end of war became almost certain. So in this situation, the Allied powers now felt the necessity of drawing up an outline of peace treaties. So outline of these peace treaties were drawn up in Yalta and the Potsdam conferences regarding future of Europe. At London Conference 1944, America, Britain and Russia agreed about the plan of partitioning Germany among themselves. The final settlement was made at the Yalta Conference in February 1945. What were the decisions taken in Yalta Conference among the nations? In Yalta Conference, which was held in Crimea in Russia, the following decisions were taken between America, Britain and Russia. It was decided to form an international organization, UNO, for the preservation and maintenance of international peace. It was resolved to make Germany free from Nazi influence. Also, Germany would be divided into 4 zones. So these decisions are important. Read those. Each under the control of America, Britain, France and Russia. Similar arrangements were to be made for Austria also. Liberal reforms were to be introduced in Germany and Nazi war criminals have to also be punished. Germany have to pay heavy reparations to the Allied powers. Free elections should be allowed in the Eastern European states also. Free elections, the elections which were held, those were very free. It was to be allowed for the Eastern European states also. Similarly, the fate of Poland was also decided. So, the fate of Poland was also decided here. When the Russian army swept through Poland, a communist government was set up there. But there was another Polish government in exile at London. It was decided at Yalta that some members of that non-communist government should be allowed to join the communist government also. In return, Russia was allowed to keep a strip of eastern Poland, which she annexed in 1939. So, in the treaty, that is, Russia's special interest Russia's special interest was recognized in the treaty at Yalta, which was signed. Russia's special interest was recognized in the Far East. So, in this situation, South Sakhalin Kuril Islands and Port Arthur were given to Russia and her authority over Outer Mongolia also, which was recognized. The regions in this treaty in which Far East interest of Russia was recognized at a certain level. South Sakhalin Kuril Islands and Port Arthur were given to Russia and her authority over the Outer Mongolia. As the price of participation in the war, Russian army occupied some territories in Manchuria also. Because of participation in the war and coordinating with America, they got certain Manchuria region also. Finally, Russia gave the assurance that she would join the Allied powers against Japan. She will support America, Britain, France. Against whom? Against Japan after the fall of Germany. But Roosevelt was not happy about Stalin's demand that Poland should be given all German territories east of the river Oder and Nisi, but no agreement was reached on this point by three powers. That means the three powers were not agreed on this point that Germany should get the Poland region. Because Poland region, if it gets, that means it gets the entry to the Far East regions. From Poland, very easily Germany can migrate or transport. The movement will be very easy towards the Far East regions. Potsdam Germany Conference of 1945. The Potsdam Conference of 1945 was the last of the series of wartime conferences of the Allied powers. This conference revealed a distinct cooling off in relation. The three leaders present at the beginning of the conference were Stalin, Truman, and Churchill. Later on, Churchill was replaced by Clement Attlee. The new British Labour Prime Minister, after Labour Party's election victory, it was agreed that Germany would be disarmed and Nazi Party be disbanded and Nazi leaders be tried as war criminals. This was decided. As Russia incurred greatest loss by the aggression of Germany, she would get half of the reparation collected from Germany. Whatever reparation loan was being paid by Germany, the half of the payment will go in the bank of Russia. But the main disagreement occurred over Poland region, because a portion of Poland had already been occupied by Russia, and here Germany was demanding the full Poland region, and a pro-communist government had already been set up there. The Soviet Russia's communist part of government had already been set up in that region. So now in this point, Russia and Germany were not agreeing on Poland issue. Poland was the main part of negotiation between Russia and Germany. From the very beginning, the non-aggression pact was being signed. You remember during World War II, World War I time. Those non-aggression pact was the history in behind the relation of Russia and Germany, and mainly Poland. Poland was the main part. Poland, here Germany claimed full, and here Russia already had certain percent of Poland occupied in its territory, and Russia was not agreeing to give it back to Germany. So in this point of issue, there was negotiations going on between Russia and Germany. So, in the Potsdam Conference, it was also decided whether and when the four zones of Germany would be allowed to join together to form a united country again. Truman and Churchill were not happy as the Russian troops had already occupied East. Here, Truman and Churchill were not happy with Russia occupying the east of Poland region, with Oder and Nisi region of Germany. They were not satisfied with this occupation of land. When Potsdam Conference was going on, at that time only American Air Force dropped 2 atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki of Japan. America maintained secrecy about this deadly weapon, and this gave rise to Russia's suspicion. At that point only, same time, Hiroshima Nagasaki case happened, and here Russia got suspicious that America is having a supreme power in weaponry. An apprehension about military potentiality of Britain and America. So openly Russia was not ready to challenge the two supreme powers. On the other hand, Russia's activities in Poland perturbed the Western powers. It disturbed them. It made them suspicious. It made them proactive. Henceforth, mutual suspicion, distrust, and hostility among the wartime partners started. It began to develop between the two wartime partners. Now these two partners, they became suspicious about the movements. The relation became more critical when Stalin, in his speech of February 1946, said that communism and capitalism could never live peacefully. Communism and capitalism could never live peacefully together, and that future war was inevitable. No one can stop the future war until the final victory of communism was going to be held and achieved. So in this situation, the Fulton speech gave from Stettin in Baltic to Trieste in Adriatic, the Iron Curtain was descended across the continent. Now, what were the main causes of the Cold War? It has been estimated that the strained relation which developed between USA and USSR after Second World War has been described as Cold War. That means strained relation between USA and USSR. The term Cold War had an American origin. The term was first used by Bernard Baruch, who observed on 16th April 1947, "Let us not be deceived today. We are in the midst of the Cold War." The term was picked up by Walter Lippmann, who through his book on Cold War popularized it. Henceforth, the term Cold War was used to describe the relation between the Soviet Union and the Western powers. That means the capitalists and the communists. The origin of the Cold War may be traced back to 1918, when civil war broke out in USSR. America, England, France and Japan sent troops to Russia in support of the counter-revolutionaries. Because of these powers wanted to nip Bolsheviks in the bud. They do not want the Bolshevik revolution to continue. Ultimately, communists won up Russian leaders. Now, in this point of time in Russia, the communist group, they actually got the support of the Russian leaders. Slowly and slowly, they wanted to spread the communism to the capitalist occupied regions also. So the background of the future of Cold War was thus created. Here communists were fighting to spread its power, and here capitalists was very much active to stop the spread of this disease. Hence, actually, the basic cause of the conflict was due to the belief in different principles of communism and democracy. There was a difference of idea between communism and democracy. Automatic democracy giving you a republican form of government, but communism is giving you a single word government. The government, it's not a government, you can tell a leadership form in which the one person's command is listened by all. Hence, it's a group, it's a party which is already leading in communism. The communists believe in the ideas of Karl Marx on the basis of which they wanted to rule the state by their proletariat views. They did not believe in individualism and political liberty of the people. They did not believe in individualism and political liberty of the people. I am repeating, they did not want freedom of the people. No liberalism, no say, no demands. On the other hand, supporters of democracy, how they lived? They believed in private ownership of property, democratic rights of the people. They believed in government, government believed in people. Democratic and capitalist states were afraid of democratic plus capitalist countries, were afraid of the spread of communism in their region. That is why this was the war of fear and aggression against the spread of communism in far off countries, which was turned up into a Cold War, where Russia was spreading its influence through Poland. Very well, it wanted to spread communism. During the war, though it was supporting the elites, but then also it has the view of spreading communism secretly or anyhow. So during the war, the Allied powers fought shoulder to shoulder against the Axis powers, Stalin of Russia, and wanted to take advantage of military situation to increase Russians' fear of influence. With the fall of Germany, Stalin wanted to capture as much German territories as it could. Hence, the American government realized that communism was an international movement whose expansion meant an accession of strength to Soviet Union. So the two important powers looked with suspicion to each other. The fall of Japan due to atom bomb explosion on Hiroshima and Nagasaki greatly increased the cleavage. Thus, after Second World War, there developed a distinct cooling off in relation. Russia felt that America had the technical know-how of atom bomb, strongest navy, air bases, strategic positions. Moreover, America's position in West Germany and Japan had brought her close to Soviet frontiers. The abrupt termination of Lend-Lease aid. The Lend-Lease in which America was providing arms and ammunition support to the countries against the Germany. So Soviet request on post-war reconstruction loan further dependent Soviet Union's suspicion of America's goodwill. Thus actually after Second World War, both the powers began to complain about others' bad faith. The establishment of communist government in this Eastern Europe region caused alarm in the West. As Russia started to spread communism in Europe, it caused an alarm in the West, America. Russian government steadily started interfering in Eastern European countries like Hungary, like Poland, Bulgaria, Albania and Romania. Thus the Western countries took this step as a suspicion and alertness and very apprehensive about Russia when Stalin in the speech in February 1946 very categorically and very strategically said that communism and capitalism would never live peacefully if entered in European boundaries, and that the future war was inevitable. That means the person America is actually challenging Russia with a future war which is coming near to their doorstep. It was a challenge, it was a threat, it was an order given. Hence, in the speech, it was very clearly given that capitalism and communism can never live peacefully together, and if living, trying, that means war is inevitable. Inevitable means that it cannot be stopped, and thus until the final victory was achieved. Then here the challenging powers, capitalism and communism, will come on the war field, and then only the decision will be taken that whose victory is there. So it was a clear challenge and threat given from the authorities to Russia for spread of communism in European countries, and which was moving towards the western boundaries. So till this much we are doing the causes of Cold War. Next class, to you read till this much, not going further. So after that we will go into the next part of the lesson. That is the Marshall Aid and Molotov plan. Marshall Aid plan and Molotov plan. Then Berlin Blockade and NATO. Okay. Thank you.